How you guys having a good time so far? What an amazing, amazing event. So I have the responsibility of helping us stay out of trouble with our spouses. And if you're not married and you're on the way to being married, we're going to talk about how do you walk into this increase season staying married. And if you are already married, how do we make it work so we don't end up having to call the lawyer that was up here before, even though we want to sponsor her business. So let me just get a read of the room. How many guys are actually in a relationship right now as we speak? All right, how many guys are wishing to get in a relationship? Come on, you're in a church, we might pray over you real quickly. How many guys are wishing you were not? No, I'm just kidding. So I'm going to begin with just a quick observation. I want you to look at your spouse or text them if they're not here and ask them this simple question. Are you building something that includes me or something that replaces me? We're going to be with that. Are you building something that includes me or replaces me? And if you're not married yet, you want to ask yourself, am I going to build something that's going to include the person that I'm with or that is going to replace them? Because there is a moment that I'll never forget, you know, as someone who's been married now for 30 years, right? And I had to wrestle with this, and it hits hard. Because here's the thing. We don't neglect our spouses out of rebellion. We really don't. We actually neglect them out of ambition. Let me say it again. We don't neglect our spouses out of rebellion. It's usually the pursuit of our ambition, and we tend to kind of drop the ball. And the reason why I say this is because I was actually doing it for her, but I was doing it without her. And so I would travel, travel all over the place, flying, speaking at conferences, but I was not doing it with her, but in my mind I was doing it for her. So what I want you to think about is, as an entrepreneur, you need to know that the tension, that what you're trying to build is meaningful, but you got to be careful. What we're trying to build, what I said is it's meaningful, but we have to be careful because you'll win the world and lose the relationship that was meant to sustain you. And so before we talk about strategy or system, I want to first debunk a couple of myths and dismantle a couple of myths that silently sabotage entrepreneurial relationship. Are you guys ready to learn? There's 5 of them I want to debunk with you real quickly. Number 1, all right? 5 top myths. Number 1, once my business is, I want you to read with me, participate. Once my business is stable, then I'll be able to focus on my marriage. So let me go make this money, and I'll come back to you. Let me go run this hustle, and we're going to figure it out later. There's no such thing as later. You build your business, say it with me, you build your business and your marriage in the same season because we're increasing together. We don't step out of our marriage to increase. We increase while we're in our marriage. And if you're not married yet, you want to go into a relationship with this mindset that we're going to build simultaneously. We're going to have synergy. People who are present in their marriage are never absent in their purpose. Can I say it again? People who are present in their relationship are never absent in their purpose. Myth number 2. My spouse just doesn't get it. She has a coconut or he has a coconut for a head. It's a hard shell. That's not true. They don't have to be in your business to be for your mission. Let me run it again. They don't have to be in your business to be for your mission. A lot of times we think because we're married to an entrepreneur, we have to be an entrepreneur. Well, you weren't wired that way. You weren't built that way. But you can be part of the mission. You can be part of the team that's helping to deliver what? The vision. Are we okay? Because here's the thing. Partnership isn't about being identical. It's about being aligned. Partnership is not about being what? Identical. It's about being what? Aligned. God never created us to be identical. As a matter of fact, you're the only person that has your fingerprint. That's what David says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That means I'm unique. I'm not like you. But we can align. Are you agreeing with me? So myth number three, we just need to find balance. Woo! You'll never find balance. You'll never balance it. You need to integrate it. Here's what. Balance is static. Integration is dynamic. Let me run that back. Balance is what? Static. Integration is dynamic. It's not 50-50. I can't stand when people say, well, we got to be 50-50. First of all, if we're 50-50, who's getting the next 50? Because if you only give me 50%, who's getting the other 50%? Right? It's really not about being 50-50. It's about fluid alignment. It's about fluid alignment. Are we okay so far? Because here's the thing. You can give your family, here's what I believe. You can give your family either 50% of you and lose all of you, or you can give them all of you and always remain all of you. Myth number 4. I got a lot to cover. That's why I'm kind of rushed. If I need to slow down, just say slow down, and I'll slow down. Myth number 4. So myth number 1 is, well, let me see if you're paying attention. What's myth number 1? Huh? And myth number 2 is what? My spouse just. Myth number 3 is if we can just find this thing we call balance, we'll be all right. Here's myth number 4. Here's myth number 4. If we just had more time, everything would work. If we just had more time. Can I deposit in your mind, for those of you who are in a relationship or about to get into a relationship, or you're finding this tension with your spouse or your significant other, here's what I want you to understand. It's not about more time. It's about intentional time. Because I could spend a week with you and can't wait to get off the cruise ship. Because we just spent a whole lot of time just being upset at each other. Or at least 7 out of the 10 days. Because you wanted to go to deck 11. And I just wanted to go to deck 9. You wanted to just sleep. I wanted to go on those expensive excursions. Right? So it's really not about more time. It's about what? It's about intentional time. Here's what I believe. You can give your family leftovers or your leadership, but not both. Chicka, 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 rewind. You can give your family what? Leftovers or your leadership, but never both. Okay? And I'm going to talk about the phone, the demon called the phone, that is competing. The mistress called the phone, or the side hustle called the phone. We're going to talk about it later on. If I step on you, just say ouch, and we're going to be all right. All right? Because sometimes we need to have an unplugged marriage. Some people have an unplugged wedding. Ooh, hashtag, never mind. You ready for myth number 5? Huh? Here's myth number 5. Success at work will eventually bring peace at home. If he can just understand, I'm doing this for us. If she can just get it through her thick skull and get out of her feelings that I'm doing it for us, we're going to be all right. Peace doesn't come from profit. It comes from partnership. What I said? Peace doesn't come from profit. It comes from partnership. We were at lunch, and our speaker at lunch was talking about how he was able to move from a season of his life where he was struggling and is able to build a business that is scaling now at an exponential rate. But there was something that was still tugging at his heart, was his relationship with his daughter. Because you see, sometimes we can climb the mountain of success, but yet sleep in the valley of discouragement. And business people are good at being hypocrites. Because you know what's a hypocrite? A hypocrite is someone who's an actor. They're an imposter. They're playing a role that they're not. So they have public success, but private struggles. And you never want to be one of those people that everything is going well at work, but you dread coming home. Because peace doesn't come from your tax returns. It comes from being present with those that really love you. And I can say that to you. Sometimes you can have the most success in the world, but if you're failing at home, you're failing all around. Because wherever you go, you're there. And what you just said, you don't step out of increase. You don't, this is my work life, and this is my home life. No, you're one person. You are who you are wherever you go. And that's why people who are struggling at home, they tend to perform low at work. Because that emotional struggle is real, right? And so what I want us to think about is this whole idea. I want you to think about the business can make you money, but only your marriage will make you whole. The business can make you money, but only your relationship will make you. People go, well, I don't need a woman to make me happy. No, you probably don't. For the moment. I don't need no man to make me happy. I can be happy all by myself. You probably can for a moment. Because God is the one who said it is not good for man to be alone. I know we're in a church, but I'm not going to have you say amen. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a moment, take 30 seconds, and I want you to ask which one of these myths hit closest to home for me right now. Which one of these hit closest to home? Just take a private moment. Whether you're in a relationship, whether you're dating, you're courting, whether you're married, or whether you're praying for a Boaz, you're believing God for a Boaz, we got some oil, we could lay it on. I mean, which one of these myths hit closest to home for you? I know for me, one of them hit close to home many, many years ago, and that's when I had to realign my efforts without sacrificing my calling. Because sometimes you think I have to give up something in order to get right. No, I just have to realign and refocus. So take about 45 seconds and think about which one of these hit close to home for you. And then we're going to talk about the E3 marriage framework, all right? So take about 30 seconds. But you be present, okay? Be honest. Honesty is usually the best friend of destiny. The more honest you are, the closer you can get to where you need to be. Because no specifics, no solutions. All right? Nothing. You're not writing. You're not doing anything. You're just kind of like, can we go home? No. You just ate our food. You got to stay for the rest of the. All right? Okay. Let's take about 10 more seconds, and let's process that. Which one of these myths hit closest home for you? Because we're gonna talk about how do we get to this thing called an entrepreneurial relationship. Okay? Take about 5 more seconds. And I just love the way Pastor David set this up. Like, she had that amazing speaker come up. And I got to go behind that. I'm like, Lord, strength, grace. All right? You were amazing, by the way. I mean, you are amazing. Not were amazing. You are amazing. And I'm glad we live in Florida. I could start weather any hurricane, including the one that just went through here. All right, so I want to talk. Anybody want to volunteer? Which myth hit closest to home? Anybody want to be transparent and vulnerable in this space? Anybody? Do I have a brave soul? All right, we promise you we'll give you 2% of the next VIP next year. We're trying to keep the money. All right. We just need to find balance. Can you explain to us why that one hit home a little close for you, the one about balance? Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Get money, and there I go.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't leave time and space for my children because I work a 9 to 5 and then I do hair as well.
Yeah.
So trying to find that balance with my kids and understanding why they're sad or why they're being rebellious to me is because they miss me, basically, and I need to find that balance between my business and my children.
Well, can I introduce you to a concept I'm actually working on right now? I'm getting ready to write a book called Balance Doesn't Exist. It's harmony. You with me? The minute you stop seeking to find balance, you're going to be okay. Because there's no such thing as balance. At one point or another, something is going to be competing with something else. You need to harmonize like a choir, like a worship team. You have a blending of different voices to bring a sound that's agreeable to the ear. And your life needs to be lived like that. So let's say if I'm going to work a 4-day work week, right? I'm going to make sure I work 10 hours and I have that 5th and 6th day for my kids. So that means I harmonize my life where everybody is getting me present at all times. Because here's what we try to do. Run to work, be mommy, be entrepreneur, side hustler. And next thing you know, you're exhausted at the end of the day. And when you look at what you accomplish, you really didn't accomplish anything other than money to pay bills. And a lot of us, we struggle between being successful and being significant. And the tension is in the gap between success and significance. We can be successful bill payers and not be significant as parents. So we got to choose how we're going to operate by creating harmony. That's a whole nother seminar. You got to come next year to the Increase Summit to get that one. I'm just setting y'all up right now. And we do have pre-registration for next year, right? I'm a natural born salesman, so I'm ready to sign you up for the next Increase Summit right now. I'm trying to get invited back next year, y'all. All right, so here we go. But thanks for sharing that. Anybody else, real quickly?
Yeah, you already hit it in the nail. You can give your family your leftovers or your leadership, but not both.
Yep.
That hit home for me because as a man, we always trying to provide for our family, and we forget that they need our leadership.
Yeah.
But you can't do both. And you try to juggle both, but it's not going to work.
Yeah. You can't have a competition between your leadership and your obligation. You need to make them work together. Does that make sense? And because remember, leadership is both a science and an art. You got to be artistic when you become an entrepreneur. You can't be rigid. You got to have some creativity to how you manage your schedule, how you manage your workflow. That's a whole nother seminar for a whole nother time. But thanks for sharing that. So let's talk real quickly about the 3 C's of an entrepreneurial marriage. How many guys want to learn the 3 C's of an entrepreneur? Do we have another one? Oh, I'm sorry.
You done hit everybody in their soul. You got about 2 more questions.
Oh, are y'all going to put more time back on my clock? No, I'm just, go ahead.
The myth that hit home the most was if we just had more time, everything would work. I'm a realtor, and juggling being in a relationship. I've been single for a while, but now in a relationship, so just juggling everything is like, okay, if I had more time, everything would be working, but just the balance. So that stood out to me.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing that. I think what you have to do is you have to tell your time where to go and don't go where time's taking you. Tell your time where to go and don't go where your time is taking you. What do I mean by that? Because if I have a schedule, I'm telling my time where it's going, rather than me trying to adjust to everything that comes up. All right? And that's called being disciplined and being structured. Are you with me? So tell your time where to go and don't try to go where time's taking you. And the more successful you become, the more disciplined you have to be with time. Because remember, your number 1 resource is not money, it's time. And that's why you sell time for money. It's called a job. You know what a job is? J-O-B, just over broke. Next.
For me, myth number 1 and myth number 5, they kind of coincided to me, but they both hit, not necessarily in a marriage yet, but just that I feel like I'm part of that I got to get it generation and that hustle generation. And so the only thing is if I'm not to a point, to a standard, then I'm not ready for a relationship. I'm not ready to deal with nobody else because I got to lock in on getting to some more money. Yeah. And yeah, so both of those hit home.
Oh, well, can I help you real quickly just because I got to move on? You'll never be ready for marriage.
Never.
Ask anybody who's married. We're still not ready. We're always getting ready because here's the thing. Marriage is a creation that evolves. And we're evolving. The person you were 5 years ago is not the person you're going to be 5 years from now. Your body changes, your needs changes, your mindset shifts. You grow, right? Because anything that's attached to God has to evolve. Anything that's associated with God has to evolve. And so that's why if you're waiting for the right time to get married in the right circumstance, myth. There's never a right time. Well, see me later. I'll talk to you about that. All right, so let's talk about the 3 C's, right? How are we doing so far? Are we good? Number 1, clarity. Clarity, clarity. Somebody say clarity. We have to define the win together. What does that mean? It means we have to define what does the win look like. Okay? Because here's why. Here's why. If you don't define success together, you'll drift into competing definitions. If you don't define success together, you are going to drift into what? Competing definitions. Let me explain what I mean by that. A lot of times we end up competing with the definition of success because we didn't define it. Because for the husband, success is I make 6 figures. And for the wife, success is did we go on a date night in 6 weeks?
My God.
So define the win together. I love what Simon Sinek said. He said, leadership is not being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. Leadership is not being about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. Most couples, watch this now, most couples are not fighting about money or time. They're fighting about meaning. Can I run that back? They're not fighting about money or time. They're fighting about meaning, okay? All right? So real quickly, for about 30 seconds, write down your personal definition of success and share it with your spouse. If you don't have one, share it with the future one in your mind. Again, that mindfulness that we talked about just now. If you don't have your boo or your boo-boo, share it in your mind. What is your definition of success? My definition of success is simple. Finish well everywhere I go. Finish well. That's it. So finish well everywhere I go. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna make mistakes, but I want to finish well. Because on the way to finishing well, you're gonna stumble. That doesn't mean you can't finish the race well. Does that make sense? Okay? And ask, how aligned are these two definitions? If you have your spouse with you, how aligned are you? And for those of you who are not married, those of you who are on your way to getting married, you're dating, you're in love right now, your heart is somewhere. Have this conversation with your potential significant other. Because a lot of times we talk about our feelings, but we don't talk about our flow. And we move into relationships thinking that we're going to backload this thing by just coming in with feelings. Feelings don't make a marriage work.
Say it again.
It's vision.
Let's go.
Because there are times you don't fit being in that marriage. But when you have a calling together, you stick with it. You put your feelings aside. Okay? How are we doing so far? All right, let me give you number 2. Number 2, clarity. Number 2 is what? Connection. Somebody say connection. You have to prioritize emotional presence. I want to park here for a minute. A lot of times, because we're so A-type, that's what makes you an entrepreneur. You're ambitious and you're very structured. We forget to be emotionally present. So we walk in the home, we know how to manage a spreadsheet, but we can't read the room. Why y'all not talking back to me? We can read a P&L, but we can't read our spouse's face. To see, all they need is 30 minutes. They don't want to hear about your client. They just want you to be present. Am I in the right room? Am I in the right place? So prioritize what? Being what? Emotionally present. Because your business gets your best focus. Does your spouse get your best attention? And this is where the phone needs to know its place. That stock is going to be okay if you don't check it every 2 minutes. That email is going to be okay if you don't answer it. Because you know what I realize? You know, as a pastor, I do a lot of funerals, right? And I realize at funerals, something always hits me at funerals. It's always the family member who's on the front row. And all the friends and the colleagues are in the back. Why is that? That cadaver or that corpse is yours. everybody came to support you. So watch this now. We're closer to the person in death than we are in life. And all the supporters come, man, I had to be here for you, but you got to be close. So how in the world I'm going to be close to someone, my family, when they're dead, and I couldn't be close to them while I was alive? Think about that. So we have to have connection. Somebody say connection. So number one is what? Clarity. Number two is what? Connection. Number three. I'm kind of walking you through this real quickly because I want to get through the whole thing so you can get it. All right. Number three, is my clicker working or did they stop working back there? All right. Number three. Here's the third one. Collaboration. I love the way that our previous speakers set it up. People who are in increase, they collaborate. Embrace your differences as design, not as the devil. Your partner is not the demon, not the devil. They're just different. Man, I swear that woman is she's from another planet. No, she was just designed different. Man, I promise you, my husband or my man, he just don't get it. No, he's different. Learn his communication style. Learn what moves him or her and collaborate. Because you see, here's the thing. A lot of us in our marriages, we're cooperating, but we're not collaborating. What's the difference between cooperation and collaboration? Cooperation, you do it because you're expected to do it. You collaborate because you want to do it. Well, I'm going to cook this food because if I don't cook, he won't stop talking. No, you're just cooperating. Well, I'm gonna meet his need because, child. So you cooperate, but you don't collaborate. So I'm gonna take on this vacation. I really want to go to this seminar, but I'm going to because I just want to shut her up. You're cooperating, you're not collaborating. And if you want to succeed as entrepreneurs, you got to have clarity. Got to have what? Come on. Collaboration. Because here's what I want you to understand. Trust is knowing that when a team member pushes you, they're doing it because they care about the team. When your spouse pushes you to be better, they're not nagging you. They're actually helping you. And the person closest to you has the right to tell you the truth. They have relational equity that other people don't have. So listen. But you have to bring them into the conversation. Because the thing with successful people is we think we told someone something, we didn't tell them. I didn't tell you I was going on a trip. No. Maybe somebody else. I didn't tell you I let somebody borrow $5,000. No. Oops. Okay. Here's what I believe. Great companies and great marriages both thrive on systems. Structure doesn't kill romance. It protects it. Are we okay? Structure doesn't kill your relationship. It does what? It protects it. Someone who's unstructured is not ready to be successful. And I have found sometimes people in the faith space are the most undisciplined people because they make faith a substitute for laziness and for lack of discipline.
Oh my goodness.
Prayer was not designed to pull you out of a trap. Somebody say structure. You know why we always need a miracle? Because we don't operate on principles. God created the heavens and the earth by a miracle, but he governs principles. Miracles were meant to be an intervention, supernatural, not replacing principles.
That is good.
And a lot of us are not principled in our relationship. That's why we're always at the altar crying for a miracle. Sorry. Somebody say principle. You got to have structure. That's why we always need a breakthrough. Because we don't follow structure. All right, let me move on. Are we okay? So every couple lives in seasons. Build, sustain, pivot, or rest. Say it with me. Build, sustain, pivot. You're either building You're sustaining, you're getting ready to pivot, or you need to rest. And you need to have enough emotional intelligence to know what season you're in. And when you are in the building season, don't complain. We're building. We can't take 10 vacations while we're building. We need to have continuity. We need to have some fluidity. We can't go to every family. We got to learn to say no because we're building. I know Ray, Pookie, they have a family, but right now we're building. We can't go to that. Or we're sustaining. We got to cut back on how much we spend on that Tory Burch. Or those extra pair of Jordans. Right now is not the time for that. We have a plan for this money. All right. Are we okay? So if I was talking to couples only in this room, I'd ask you to kind of walk yourself through this. But if you're a couple, take a screenshot of this and then go home and discuss this. What season are we in as a couple? And what season is our business in? And let's discuss how we align it. If you're single, you're probably in a season where you need to, develop what you need to do, because before you bring somebody else into the situation, you got to have clarity before you build community. You got to have what? Clarity before you build. Notice what God did with Adam. He placed him in an environment to thrive before he gave him a wife. All right. Here's what I believe. You can't run your marriage at startup speed forever. You can't run your marriage at startup speed. There's got to be a rhythm. There's got to be some type of system that you put in place. I mean, for the first 3 years we were running, just running a rat race. When are we going to slow down? The kids are getting older. They need you to be at the ball games. That excuse is what that worked at 3 years old is not going to work at 13. I mean, Johnny understood at 4, when he was 4, you couldn't be there. Now he's 14. Am I in the right room? All right. So here's what I believe. Crucial conversation. Somebody conversation. Here's what I believe happens in a lot of relationships. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. That is the single biggest illusion. We already talked about this. When? Where? And you can't chat GPT it. I know we talked about AI earlier. You can't AI your marriage. You got to be authentic. All right? So let's talk about this real quickly and we got to land the plane. I really believe this, and I really believe as my core. Your communication is either a bridge or a scorecard. You want me to break that down? It's either a bridge that's going to take us somewhere, or I'm throwing things in your face. You got to decide in your relationship, am I going to use communication as a bridge or as a scorecard? Last week, you said this. In the week before that, you said this. Okay, I see your scorecard is going up. Where are we going with this? All right? Okay? So three levels of communication, real quickly. Are we okay? Are you learning? Is this helpful? Whether you're married or you're getting ready to be married or you're thinking about a relationship or this is going to help you. And this is going to help you really build a business and a relationship that both can thrive and arrive together. You never want to arrive at the mountain of success and you did not bring someone with you. Hello? Can I give you a biblical example without making this too churchy? Christ arrived at his pinnacle bringing all of humanity. If you arrive at your pinnacle solo, you failed. Y'all heard what I just said? If you arrive at the pinnacle of your career, your pinnacle of your life, the highest summit, and you have no one there to celebrate with you, you failed. Because what makes you powerful is not how you stand solo. It's when you can look around and say, everybody here contributed to me getting there. Are we in the right place? So don't leave your spouse behind while you pursue significance. Everybody else may applaud you, but only your spouse will affirm you. So you need communication that connects, not competes. Okay? What I said? You need what? Communication that connects. Every conversation doesn't need to be an argument. How are we going to connect? Mature people don't argue about the same thing all the time. They communicate and they move on. Okay? Real quickly. So let's talk about the 3 levels of communication. Number 1, logistics. Okay? In every relationship, you're going to have these 3 levels. We're talking about logistics. We're talking about bills. We're talking about kids. We're talking about schedule. Okay? Little Johnny's got a baseball game. That's logistics. That's not heart-to-heart talk. That's not pillow talk. That's called, who's driving him here? Who's picking him or her up? Those are logistics. We got this bill coming up. All right? Those are logistics. Are we? Schedules, right? Second level communication, not just logistics, but you have partnership. This is where we are aligning our goals. And a lot of couples, a lot of entrepreneurial couples, they fail to have intimacy conversation because they're so busy running after the mighty dollar. How are we doing really? Number three, not just logistics, not just partnership, but intimacy, conversation. Sharing how are we really doing, not how's your day been. That question is not asking for information. That question is just checking in. Hey, what is weighing on your mind? What is competing with your soul? How can I be better? How can I be present? How did your day go? What was your win? What was your tension point? That shifts the conversation. Hello? And it casts out fatigue. Sometimes the excuse of fatigue is not really fatigue. It's I'm tired of not being seen. And so my body now is used as a weapon to deny you what you think you're going to get. Anyway, that's a whole nother. So what I want you to do real quickly is I want you to think about this. You need to have a weekly sync meeting with your spouse. What's working? What's frustrating? And what can we celebrate? If you can do that, you will have a successful business and you will have a successful marriage. And let me close with this. Sometimes you just have to tell your spouse, here's one thing I appreciate about you and how you support me when the business gets heavy. Appreciation will do a lot more than you telling me how much money we're not making. And sometimes we fail to appreciate the people that we are supposed to do life with. Let me close with this real quickly. I really want you to understand you have to grow together and not apart. Grow together and not apart. Listen, I want to respect your time. I know there's a lot more I could share with you, but if you follow these simple things, I promise you your relationship will thrive, your business will make money. But here's the thing, you're not called to make money, you're called to make meaning. And when you begin to make meaning, money follows. Thanks for having me. Have a great afternoon.